well, and
Yeah.
feeling anxious and depressed at the same time. So I wanted to go out, but I didn't want to go out. I was constantly scared, but I didn't know what I was scared. I was in my own head, and I don't know what you can call this depression, anxiety. Is it like something happening in your head? You didn't eat right, a childhood trauma, but I was always scared, and I was going through that for 6, 7 years.
Damn.
And you know, the craziest thing about it is I remember when I was going through it, I didn't want to go to the doctors because I didn't want to go on happy pills.
Good morning today. This is your boy Phonchrist, and I have a new guest. He's actually a friend of mine as well. He's somebody I know like for a few years. I don't remember the last time I saw him, but we still in touch. We talked to. And yeah, his name is Taj, and today we're just gonna go straight to it. We're just gonna talk about mental health, men dealing with mental health. Like, how is it like for a man to really deal with mental health, especially for people who never experienced like mental health. Myself as well. I always been talking about mental health, but I never really knew what it was about until it happened to me as well. I'm gonna share for the first time with you guys, and Taj is gonna share his experience as well. Maybe he's just gonna try to help other people and how men we deal with it, because a lot of people, actually a lot of men, we deal with this kind of thing, but we don't talk about it because we just feel ashamed or we feel like we're not man enough or whatever. But today we're just gonna have to break the ice, all right? So Taj, what's up?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. First of all, nice to talk to you today. Yeah, man. For people who doesn't know, Taj is somebody that I know him for many years because I knew his sister first. Rest in peace. She was a great person. Fortunately, she actually passed away. I think it been like 2 years now.
It's gonna be 2 years in.
Oh my God, it's just going quick. And yeah, I felt like since then we spoke once or twice, but I just feel like yes. So I know a lot of things happened to you. You've been through a lot of shit. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. Even before what happened to your sister, you used to be very fragile. I'm not talking, I mean, maybe you don't know that, but your sister used to tell me a lot of things about you. You used to be like his little brother, baby, like you always like, you go to the gym always looking big and muscling, but when she was around, she used to see you just as you know, as a little baby, that's why you were. So tell me,
So
mental health.
the mental health, like, let's. So I didn't have the best childhood. Like,
Yeah,
dad,
childhood. Yeah.
dad was really abusive. Got married 3 times, and I personally think sometimes, not a lot of times, sometimes your depression and that it catches up with you from your childhood programming. Like what you've been through. Um, with myself personally, in my mid 20s, until my mid 20s, I was living the life. Just enjoying partying. One day, I just woke up with a heavy feeling, and I just didn't feel like myself anymore. And I was really first, I didn't think of it too much. I'm just like, I'll just get over it, and it's just temporary. But then time went by. I used to have a lot of friends, like literally, I couldn't even count how many I did. But then start going through this day by day, week by week, the amount of friends I've lost now, I can't even count them on one hand anymore. Because when I was in that state, I couldn't even talk to anyone about it. I was just feeling constantly sad, depressed, just didn't want to live anymore. My sister, rest in peace, that passed away, like she knew everything. She was my younger sister. The
Really?
yeah, yeah.
I'm actually shocked now.
I always used to take the mick
Younger
out of. I
sister.
always used to take the mick out of. I'm like, you're the older sister. I look younger than you. And we had that bond of we were each other's parents, so we used to, best friends. We used to talk about everything, and she looked after me a lot. Like when I was going, she tried so many different methods to make myself feel better. Yeah, so as I was saying, like we were each other's parents, we looked after each other, and there was a certain point, yeah, like 1 week before she passed away,
Yeah.
because we lived together for 10 years, like and then the last year we just decided to move apart because she had a better job in town, so she wanted to move into Birmingham city centre, and she's moved to town, and we used to talk to each other every day, on FaceTime and that. Strangely enough, 1 week before she passed away, I was on FaceTime with her, and I told her, I'm like, I don't feel depressed anymore. I feel good. Like, you don't need to look after me anymore. Like, you don't need to, like keep checking. I feel better. And then within 5 days, she passed away. It's crazy. And then depression just came back all over again. And one thing I've realized is with us men, especially, I guess maybe the way we've been brought up because we're men, we don't like to talk about how we feel to anyone. And
Yeah.
and the biggest thing I've realized is because we don't talk to anyone about how we feel, it makes it worse. Because when your own head starts speaking to yourself, it only gets worse. But whereas if you actually talk to someone about it, you actually would feel better if you let it out. That's why, like, you see more women going out and eat together. They do a lot of things together compared to men. Nowadays, a lot of men, they isolate themselves, don't want to go out, don't want to do things. And I think that's one of the biggest issues here, that they're not sticking together anymore. Everyone's on their own personal journey, but you need that circle of friends where, you can have a bit of a time out.
Yeah, I mean, I understand what you're saying about men don't share because I used to be one of those people where every time you used to talk about mental health, I was like, man, I'm black. We don't deal with this kind of shit. I'm a strong man. I go to the gym. But what I realized, something have to happen to your life to go through this kind of thing because I'm a kind of person like I always control everything around my life. You know me, I'm very positive, you know what I mean? Like my mind always right. But something happened to me where a lot of friends betrayed me, like my life went upside down and I went through the thing. But after that, what I realized with mental health, sometimes you resist and it's gonna hit you back later. So what happened with me that I just wake up one day, I just start feeling like I'm scared of something. You know that feeling of worry? Like you feel like panic, panic, that's what people call panic attack. I just feel like I'm scared. I'm like, I'm scared of what? Like, okay, I have problem before, but now I don't have it. So what's going on? I feel like I'm scared. I'm scared for I don't know why I'm scared. And you just don't feel yourself. You feel like you're disconnected to your inside. And the feeling that I had, the only thing I had in my head was like, you know what? Maybe I should hit the gym first. I go to the gym because the gym is like, there's only God in the gym. The gym is like the last hop for me. I went to the gym. I tried to work out. It's not hitting the same. You're in the gym, but you feel like, man, there's something missing. Like, what I feel scared. You feel like you just want to be on your own.
I feel that, yeah.
And I start being on my own. And when I'm on my own, I feel like it's scared. It's just hard to explain.
I know it's hard to explain. It's like,
I feel like I don't want to be with people. I said to myself, look, maybe I'm just going a little bit crazy. One of my friend was like, you know what, let's just book a holiday, go somewhere. We went to Manchester with one of my friend. We booked the hotel, 2 room. I stay in the room with him, just chilling, talking. I feel like I'm not well. I need to go on my own in the room. I'm with him, but I feel like we are disconnected. He's talking about going to party. I'm like, I don't know. And I went to the room. You know what I wanted to do? To scream.
really?
Yeah. The only feeling that was gonna make me feel good. This is the first time for me to open up about this shit.
But
The only thing I wanted to do was to be like,
no,
this is. I said to myself, this is the only thing that's gonna help me. I wanted because it was too much inside. I was just gonna be there, just like shout, like like Goku, like this kind of shout I'm talking about, just like in my head. I'm like, man, you're going crazy. I said to myself, I haven't done it. I done it once. I was like, oh, and then I was like, if I do it, I'm going crazy.
yeah,
I said to myself, if I try to do it, I'm going crazy. And then I said to myself, look, I need to calm down. I go to work. When I'm at work, I feel like something is just not right. And I've done a lot of. I didn't want to talk to my friend. You know why I didn't want to talk to my friend? I didn't. Sorry for talking about this like that. I think I know it's a bit long, but maybe you can relate. I didn't want to talk to my friend because I feel like my friend we are disconnected. How people gonna understand it?
yeah. People don't.
You can't talk to somebody who doesn't understand anything.
They just say
It's
snap out
hard.
of it. That's what they keep saying. Snap out of it. It's just in your head.
People are not in your head. It's all in your head. You be like, man, I pray. I was gonna talk to my mom. My mom is really religious. I talked to her, but she don't really get it that way. And I said to myself, look, I need to calm down. I need to do some research. But I didn't want to go to the hospital. You know why? Because I've done a podcast with a lot of people. I didn't want people to give me something that's gonna mess me up.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of research. I've learned about panic attack, how it happened to you. And then the person say on the video, the thing that scare people the most that make it worse is when the panic attack happen, you think you're gonna die. That's when you rush again. So what you have to do, if you are sitting, just make sure like your foot is flat. You just breathe, 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 focus, and then put in your head like it's gonna go, it's gonna pass. And then write down your trigger. I was going research. Write down your trigger, things that scare you, things that like I just write down everything. And it is like expect it to happen because when you expect something to happen, you know you're ready for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So what I was doing daily, I was like, okay, I'm fine now. No, like in an hour or two, this shit gonna happen. And when it come, I'm like, yo, I'm waiting for you. Let's get it. And it happened. The panic attack happened. I get it. I'm like, yeah, I know you didn't. I know you're here, but guess what? I know you don't want to kill me. You just want to scare me, but I'm ready for this. It's gonna take 20 minutes, half an hour. I'm gonna do it. We're all together. It happening. I'm just do. I did it many time, many time, many time. I found my trigger. Slowly, slowly, start training and facing my fear. And slowly, slowly, it's a long battle, and it started disappearing. And I said to myself, look, I'm glad this happened to me because I can share my story with you with people. And actually, people deal with that in a different way. But I feel like when you learn to deal with that yourself, to talk it to other people, to have the right information, we can actually work it out.
No, the honest truth is, it's like no one will understand the path that you're going through because at the end of
Yeah.
the day, you know, you can't be in my shoes, I can't be in your shoes. And especially when you're going through that, a lot of people don't understand unless you be yourself. It's like the generation we grew up, our parents, they don't believe in depression and that. They just snap out of it. And what did they used to? Maybe have a drink, just chill, work hard. Where the new generation is different. I personally think as well, social media, people not communicate with each other much as they used to. Because when we grew up, did we used to do? There was no internet. We used to go out, play, football, just be out on the street, just walking, and that was happy for you. Nowadays, the younger generation, what they do is they're stuck on the iPad or phone. And I've seen your son, you took him to the gym, and that's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's good to start them off young and getting them hooked on a good habit, like father, like son, and that's what you want. And you don't.
You got to do it. Yeah. Because I know he's going to grow up in a world where he's going to need it. I'm not always going to be around.
No, exactly. And I've seen so many like friends, family, relatives, like little kids, they're just stuck on the iPad constantly. And I'm like, it's not good for your brain. When you grow up,
It's not.
that's when you're gonna start seeing the after effect. And then they'll be like, oh, my kid's going through this. Why has mental health gone so up in the past 5, 6 years as well? It's because of these kind of things. We don't interact with each other anymore. I remember when we were younger, O2 used to have after 9 o'clock, it used to be free O2 to O2, and we all
Yeah.
wait until 9 o'clock so we can call.
Yeah.
Now we're in a time we get unlimited minutes and we don't even talk to anyone anymore.
So, going back to the mental health today, tell me about your struggle. Like, how did you feel and how was your journey like? How long it took you to go through that? Because I know like you lost your sister, but before you used to have like the up and down as well. What kind of feeling did you have? Maybe somebody can actually relate to it. Like how, if you can describe it, like me, I said to you, like I feel like I was scared and then panic and what was your feeling?
I'm not gonna lie, like when I was going through that, I was feeling like because I was doing my research as well as the way you did as well, and feeling anxious and depressed at the same time. So I wanted to go out, but I didn't want to go out. I was constantly scared, but I didn't know what I was scared of.
Yeah, that's a scary part.
Yeah, and a lot of people, like I remember even my sister, bless her, she used to say, "Oh, you need to go out more, you need to see people, you feel better." And I was just scared. And I canceled so many family functions because I was in my own head. And I don't know what you can call this depression, anxiety. Is it like something happening in your head? You didn't eat right, your childhood trauma, but I was always scared. And I was going through that for 6, 7 years.
Damn.
And you know, the craziest thing about it is I remember when I was going through it, I didn't want to go to the doctors because I didn't want to go on happy pills. And
Yeah, that's make it worse.
that makes it worse. You turn into a zombie. You won't have any feelings and emotion. And that's the last thing I wanted. And I thought, I want to do it myself. Oh, don't get me wrong. I had days when I didn't want to live. I had
Yeah, I get it. I get it. I get it.
I just want to kill. And then I always used to say to my sister, I used to cry to her, and I'm like, you're the one reason that I'm holding on to life. I just feel like there's nothing left in life. I'm feeling depressed, sad all the time. And you're one reason I'm holding on to life because I always think, what would you do if I'm not around? Like, you know, I'm your older brother. I always want to protect you. Yeah, it's crazy. And then eventually, when I started overcoming it, like, you know, it took me 6, 7, 8 years. I thought I need to eat good, go gym, I need to read, I need to reprogram myself. And
Mm.
it's easier said than done. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I get it.
I tell someone you need to do this, and they look at it, they're like, yeah, I will do it. And your body, you will resist it. Your body's gonna fight it because your old self will refuse. The old self will be like, nope, I'm not doing that because to become a better version of yourself, you have to kill a part of you that you know no longer is required at that moment, and it's really hard. So it's like let's say when I'm reading a book, you're programming your mind, you're watching stuff, your motivation, you're doing things, and your old self will always constantly try to come back, and you're gonna start feeling anxious, or you know you're gonna start feeling certain ways because your old self doesn't want to die, it doesn't want to lose its identity. But
Yeah, go on.
it's hard, but in my head, I'm going to be consistent. And then when my sister passed away, my whole world went upside down. She was my best, you know, she was the closest person and always will be the closest ever. Parents split up, like, you know, don't get me wrong, I love them to bits, but my sister was like, you know,
Yeah, you don't have to tell me, man. I know about
you
this.
know it, like
Yeah, man. I know about it, man. Whatever she is, she can't. I don't know. After death, if people can see us, but whatever she is, man. Like,
died. And then, yeah, then I went through depression really bad. Like, I went grieving, uh, episodes of getting angry, emotional, sometimes praying to God, you know, I'll become a better person if you bring her back. Like, you know, like all these different kind of.
you need going through that. What can I help you to kind of like not overcome? Because when we lose somebody, we learn to live with that. So I know you went to a phase where you were very depressed, crying, and then and I see like a shift in you as well. And it was that's when you decided to be like, you know what, I deserve to live my life as well. You know what I mean? So what happened? Like what triggered that?
So when she passed away at the beginning, like the first 6, 7 months, I was lost. Don't get me wrong. I even got into smoking weed and, you know, like I was trying to numb myself.
Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do.
I'm not gonna lie, I spent grants and grants on smoking, and then
Yeah.
and I want to take my life away. You know, like you know all these things. That, because I went to see a clay bond. You know, like they speak with you know the spirits whatsoever. I just want,
Oh, yeah, you did that as well.
yeah, I just want to make
And then what happened? Did they tell you like you
yes.
spoke to her or did they?
So I went to two different ones because I want to see if they both come out with similar things or the same thing. And strange enough, they both said same things. That's very similar. They're saying like the other side exists. You know, it's on the same on a different frequency, but at the same place. And I do pray like that there is another side, you know, that once we pass, we do meet our loved ones. But yeah, so first 6, 7 months, I was just in my own little world, but I wanted to harm myself. But I always had that belief, if you harm yourself and you pass away, you won't find peace. When your time is written to go, you know, any excuse will happen and you will go. That's God willingly. Yes, fair enough. But if you take your own life, I always think you will never find peace, and that's why I never did. And then at one point, I got to a certain point where I think I need to start living for her. I need to. And it was a journey where I knew, because I was researching what grieving was. And obviously, grieving, your body is always producing cortisol, you know, the bad hormone. It's produced 24/7. So that's why some people die of a broken heart because it's you got so many negative hormones in your body constantly, 24/7, 24/7, and that's what kills some people. And then I thought, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna start going gym more because I stopped gym, I started having takeaways every day, and I thought,
Yeah, yeah. I think you lay yourself down. Yeah. I used to do the same as well. Stop training. I was getting skinnier and just like you destroy yourself actually.
And then what I started doing is I started going gym. I started doing cold showers every day, sauna, make sure I'm doing 2, 3 liters water a day. I start eating good, and I'm like, I need to fight my body. So it's producing bad hormones. I need to increase my dopamine. So cold showers, going gym, eating the right foods. And don't get me wrong, my shift didn't happen overnight.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't. But in my head, I thought if I'm constant enough, it will eventually, I will shift.
But that's the good thing about somebody like yourself. If people doesn't know, like he's a very like fitness person. You guys can see by the video, and it's like because you already come from the background that you have is like that fitness life. So that's why it's easier for you to kind of like adapt to that. For somebody who just like been living like an unhealthy life, I think it's kind of harder for them because they don't have those information. You agree with me?
I 100% agree with you. And the best thing I think is you need to talk to someone, and it's easier said than done. For example, when my sister passed away, I had family members saying, "Oh, if you need anything, just call us, messages, we'll be there if you will come over."
Mm.
But they didn't realize, like, they know that I'm depressed, I'm going through something. I'm not going to message them and say, "Please come here." Like, they should have just.
The effort to come to you, yeah.
But I've seen so many colors of people, what people are actually like. And I just stopped talking to them because I'm like, if you couldn't be there for me for my worst time, like, what does it make you think once I start feeling better, you're going to be there for me? Depression, like, even grief and depression, it's like that saying I heard. They're like, grieving is like you have a stone in your pocket. At the
Yeah.
beginning, it annoys you and it's always feel like, oh, it's heavy and that. But if you keep walking with the same stone in your pocket again and again and again, eventually it's still there, but you get used to it. And that's same like with grief now. Like, I've come in terms with it, but every day I still think of my sister.
But yeah,
Uh,
it's always gonna be like that.
Yeah, like even in my living room, I've got just so many pictures of her. And some days I look at her photos and I smile of the good memories, thinking she's in peace. And then certain days I look and I just start crying because I think, you was only 32 and just went and you didn't even live half of your life. And with me, it's like I have to live more than half my life without her. And it's crazy. So with mental health, personally, my opinion is like you need to talk to someone. And I know it's one of the hardest thing to do
Especially as men,
because they say
as a man.
170 or 180 men a week in the UK kill themselves because of mental health. And it's scary. And if you think about it, you went through it, I went through it, and we still stand the blessing. Ourselves, a higher being, whatsoever has kept us here and fought through it. So you have to go through the storm, and they say it either breaks it or makes you. Some people can't go through it, and they kill themselves, and will come out the other side, and they just realize, and they change. You're never the same person. If you put what's it called, iron into fire, it changes you, it reshapes you as a person. But then at the same time, you appreciate life and you care more. I see sometimes people like going through stuff, even like outside, like even birds, animals get really if I see like let's say it's a warm weather and I see even animals outside and they're looking for water and food, I get really sad looking at it. I'm like, what kind of life is that? I want to do something for them. It makes you more caring. When you go through that and you know what you've been through, it doesn't matter if it's humans or animals or whatever. It's like you don't want someone else to go through the same as what you've been through.
Yeah,
And
I totally agree.
and there's two ways. Either when you come out of it, you become more caring and you don't want someone else to go through it. Or the other side is you think to yourself, no one was there for me. Why should I be there for anyone else?
Yeah, I think that's the hardest part to trying to find the balance because when you go through that to mental health, first of all, if you're listening to me today, you have to know like a lot of people go through mental health, especially men. We go through mental health, but we don't talk about it because men, everyone thinks are good. Among us, we don't trust each other. Men, we are like dogs, we are like animals. We just go there, we hang out together because we have the same value like money or whatever, or girls. But when something happens, we don't like showing ourselves when we are weak and vulnerable. And even when we express ourselves, it's hard for people to kind of understand what we need. So when things like mental health happen, we are lost because we are not like used to have those kind of feeling or just go there, talk to somebody that sometimes you want to talk to your girl. It's just like hard for us. But what you need to remember is it's not gonna kill you. is mental.
You know what?
Things are going crazy in your head, but as soon as you the fears, as soon as you try to remove that fear, and you're always gonna have those they call it like a attack, panic attack is gonna come, is gonna come, is gonna come. You just gotta expect it. It's not gonna kill you. You have to understand there's a lot of people that have it. And if you speak to somebody who really has it, it's gonna make things easier for you.
You know what?
Yeah, go on.
In a way, I'm glad that I went through it myself
Me too.
because if I asked for someone's help, even now, I would keep relying on them. Whereas, because I went through it myself, don't get me wrong, it was harder, but it has made me more tougher, you know? I don't feel like I need to rely on anyone anymore.
Yeah.
Whereas before, I used to feel like I was really clingy and I need to rely on people. And I knew at that point, like when I was going through stuff, if I relied on someone, even until today, I'll be still calling them, checking on them. Like,
And you're gonna realize like you're on your own as well. You are actually on your own. You're with people, but you are lonely. Like being when people say like you need to go out, you can't go out, you can't be in a club with like 1,000 people. You're always gonna feel like you're on your own world because nobody can relate to whatever going on in your head. And that's the scary part.
it's like we live, like the way I look at life and the way you will look at life, we all look at it different. It's a
Mm.
own version of the way we look at life. And when you go through depression, especially, it just feels like, what am I living for? You're not excited about anything. You just don't understand, and you're constantly feeling sad. And I do sometimes get it why some people take the life away because they think
Yeah, yeah, I get it now. So I used to judge people a lot for like taking their life away. I used to really judge people for that. Like every time I heard a story that somebody taking his life, I was like, man, you don't like life, you're weak. But now I've changed my way of seeing things because when you go through those kind of traumas, sometimes you are lost, you don't know who to talk to, you don't know what to do, and sometimes your last option is just to
take,
take your life
yeah,
because you feel like you're in so much pain, and the only way out for you is just like to go to somewhere that you don't know. But when you are religious, it's different. You have that thing, like, because we believe in spirituality, a lot of things that's kind of help as well at the same time. But when people don't have the information, I understand why people do that. I don't encourage people to do that. That's not gonna save you, but I feel like we need to talk about this more so people gonna know, like, when they go through this kind of experience, they can actually get saved. They don't need to kill themselves.
they don't. And it's hard, when you have that voice in your head that's constantly all the time. That's why they just think doing killing yourself is just easier because it'll just be quiet because you can't live.
But we don't know what's to the other side as well. That's the thing.
That's it, exactly. You don't know, and that's the scariest part. Like, death can be, they say you find peace, but do we? What actually happens? There's so many different, hello?
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I'm
There's
here.
so many
Yeah.
different theories and behind, like when my sister passed away, I started looking at every religion, what happens after death. And so many religions have different meanings to it, what happens after death. Because at the end of the day, there's only one creator, one maker out there. We have different names for it. We name it God. Like everyone has different names in different religion, but it's only one creator up there, and we don't know what actually happens. Do we go to heaven? Do you go to the other side? Do you get reborn? Or the most scariest part is, does he just go, "Oop, that's it, nothing. It's just blank. That's it." Before you don't remember anything before you was born. Why is that the same thing once you pass away? It's just
But so if I ask you today, do you actually have you approached anybody during that time? Have you tried to talk to somebody about this openly?
no, I didn't.
You never.
I was constantly crying. I was just sad. And don't get me wrong, I spoke to my mom and my sister's good friend. Like my sister had a best friend, so I spoke to her about it as well, but only so much. But I spoke to myself mainly to make myself understand because I knew if I'm running away from the feeling, one day it's gonna come back to me and catch up with me, and
Yeah.
it hit me 10 times worse. And there's that saying, the goal at night when you're running away from your demon, one day you need to stand still, turn around, and face it.
You gotta face
You gotta
that.
face it.
Yeah.
If you don't face it, you're gonna keep running, and one day it's gonna catch up with you, and it's gonna hit you 10 times worse. And I got to a point. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna fight it. I'm gonna face it, and I did. It was
Yeah.
uncomfortable. It was very uncomfortable, but
I think that's the point. That's the trigger part. That's the shift when you realize you need to face it.
Yeah.
But when I say face it, you need to face it without no fear. You have to understand, like, you're gonna go through the wave where your body's feeling bad, you're having those kind of thought, you're feeling weak, you're feeling crazy, you're letting yourself down. It's normal. You have to go through that stage.
Yeah. 100%.
But at the same time, to the process, you have to start, you have to find out what works for you, the trigger. And one day you have to say to yourself, you know what? I know how it works. I'm going to have to face it. I know it's not going to kill me. When it happened, it happened. I'm going to have to fight it back. And you're going to get stronger day by day, day by day. Even those attacks going to get smaller and smaller and smaller. But it's going to take, it depends how, with people. It might take longer, it might take shorter. It just depends on the person.
When someone gets to that point where you think enough is enough,
Mm,
that's the point you make it to exchange. That's when people, when you get to the point where you think enough is enough, that's where either people take the life away because they think it's too,
yeah,
or when they think enough is enough, they're like, do you know what? Come, like, I want to face it and I want to make
yeah.
it better.
That's when you take control of yourself. Because for me, I say to myself, you know what? This is my body. This is me. I have to take control of my life, of who I am. And also, you need to, when you stop doing what you used to do, it's gonna make things worse. If you used to train, if you used to cook, if you used to walk, you have to keep doing the routine, because when you break your routine, you stop doing everything. That's when it take control of all of your life, and everything is just lost. I know it's hard. It's very difficult. I've been through that. He been through that. That's why we are sharing this. You have to carry on doing things that you used to do before, just to try to add a little bit of normality in your life, and then step by step, you're gonna get that strength.
For me, like gym is not a temporary thing. Like,
That's for life.
when people are saying, "Are you dieting?" I'm like, I'm not dieting. I'm eating right. You know, when you start eating like, all this natural food and that, they're like, "Oh, you're on a diet." I'm like, no, that's how we're supposed to be eating. All the stuff,
Period.
all this freezer food, Mackies and whatsoever, that's the wrong way of eating. But in their eyes, that's normal. And then when they see someone eating all this natural stuff, they're like, they're dieting. They're not, they're boring. No, mate, you need to put good food into your body. Like, and yeah, that's what amazes me. I was watching something and they said by 2035, it'll be more rarer to see a fit body than a Rolex watch. Because obesity, people are getting so big and fat, and that links depression as well. Yeah, that's why some people get depressed because hormonal imbalance and everything. For me, gym is it's a lifestyle. I'm not gonna stop until the day I die. Even when I'm in my camp,
It's your life.
I want people to see me there with a six pack thinking, you know what, this guy was. Yeah,
Yo, you know what? I always say to myself, man, I'm training to be like, I want to be that 65, 70 years old granddad, being like in a, what do you call it? I want my grandkids in a playground doing like a pull-ups with the abs. This is the reason why I train. We train to stay fit, to be able to walk. It's not being fit is not just having a big muscle, it's being able, because when you're gonna get old, things that you're gonna need: sitting in the chair without actually holding anything, standing, walking, using the stair. This is the kind of thing you drop your phone, grab your phone. A lot of people cannot do that anymore. This is the reason why we have to train younger so we get stronger when we get older.
lie to you. Like I've got a mate. Yeah, I'm 36, and I've got a friend that's 36, and he doesn't go gym. He likes drinking. He eats all crappy food, and he goes to GP. He has erectile dysfunction. He's got so many problems at that
Mm,
age. And he asked me, bro, what should I do? I'm like, you change your lifestyle. Your body's giving up on you, telling you
mm.
you need to change. I'm like, whatever you put in your body, you'll turn out. Like I like. Do you take CMOS? I have a lot of
No, I mean, I haven't taken it yet, but I heard about it. It's something like I need to try. I need to start
like
taking
it's
it.
got 95 minerals and vitamins in it. I just put it in my smoothie on warm water and drink it. You don't need vitamins, tablets, and that. You need to try all this natural stuff because all this shit that you get from the shops, it's so many additives. For some
Mm,
people, that's where mental health starts as well. Everyone has different reasons for mental. Some want to get somewhere, some had a bad childhood, so your diet, the wrong food you ate, and that's you get to that point, and then for a lot of people it's too late, and then they take their life away, or they don't talk about it, or they're on happy pills. Once you're on the pills as well, you will never be the same person again.
And then there's all the thing as well you need to know. Your doctor is not going to save you. Like, when you have those mental health, you go to see your doctor. He's not going to save you. You're gonna have to do it's just for money. You're gonna have to do the whole work yourself. He might give you some I'm not saying people to not take any medicine because not everybody is strong mentally, but if you know like you're strong mentally, you can actually deal this kind of thing. You need to study things. There is a lot of way for you to work on yourself and to get some help with people. You can talk to somebody. It's more like it's on mental health. Anything is happening mentally. If you change the way you think, the way you process your fear, things gonna start changing slowly. It's not easy, but it might take time. But your doctor is not gonna save you. He's just gonna give you a bunch of stuff that gonna looks like you are is stopping, but as soon as you stop taking those medications, you're gonna come back 10 times worse.
I read they go, if you're going through depression, you need to give yourself a fighting chance before going to the doctor. Try eating good, going gym, like try these little things first. Give yourself a chance, and after a couple of months, if you still feel like that, then okay, maybe you need to doctor. It will.
Yeah, of course, of course, of course.
But you know that illness and war makes the most money. Two things, like it's. I think I've watched a documentary or show. Even a doctor said, "We're not here to make you healthy. We're just giving you temporary solution to your illness."
That's what they do, man. When you go to the doctor, sometimes you ask for a question, the guy is like, wait. I check the computer, he's on the Google trying to Google something. The same information that I'm like, man, you spend like 10 years to study this. Why you have to go to Google? That's
Touch
what they do.
wood, yeah. I have not been to the GP for the past 12 years.
Yeah, man,
Recently,
thank God.
I've moved home. I had to make a GP, and they were looking. They're like, "We can't find your past records. They're 12 years old." I'm like, "Because I haven't been ill." And I said, "If I had like a minor cold and that, I'd just take some natural herbs and recover myself because I've got an immune system, and I know that immune system, if I'm fit and healthy, will recover me. Medication makes your immune system weaker, and you start relying on those stuff, and you don't even know what's in there. Yeah, like yourself, like even like vaccines and everything. Like we don't know what's in there, and if you're fit and healthy, why should you put something in your body that's gonna make it worse?
That's true. But as a man today, what is your relationship? I know since you come out of these mental health things, but I know about mental health, sometimes you feel like you can come back sometime. The impact is not sometimes does it come back? Like you have those attacks sometimes, like you feel like
I don't have
a little bit.
I don't have attacks anymore, but don't get me wrong. Occasionally, I do feel like you start feeling sad and that, but the more the first step is when you feel sad, you being self-aware of knowing that you're sad is the first step of stopping it, being self-aware.
Yeah.
If you once you start feeling sad and you go through that cycle of being sad, once you're lost in it, you're stuck in a loop, and you need to break that loop. And what I sometimes do is because motivation is only temporary, discipline is one of those things that lasts forever.
Yeah, yeah, for real, for real. Discipline is more important,
You
yeah.
can listen to a motivation video before going to gym, have a pump, but it's not going to last you for your whole day. So I set up myself a routine. This is what I'm going to do. This time, even if I don't feel like it, I'm going to do it. And then when I do certain things and accomplish certain things throughout the day, I feel better about myself. Then the sadness goes. And then if I do feel sad, don't get me wrong, I either watch something funny, comedy, what I know that'll make me laugh, or I watch something really inspiring, motivational. When I get the sad thoughts, yeah, I force myself not to listen to it and force myself to listen to the positive stuff. The more I've been doing it, like I don't listen to the sad part. I just feel like I've got more control over my thoughts and feelings now.
Yeah.
It's and the thing people need to remember is it's not a temporary thing. It's a lifetime thing that you need to do. Looking after yourself physically, mentally, spiritually, lifetime journey. You need want to read books, be mindful, meet people. Because some people, go through a temporary phase where they do self love, looking after self, and they stop. No, if you want to be a happy person, it should be part of your routine. For
Mm,
me, it's all become part of routine, like, looking after myself, eating good. And yeah, self-love is one of the main biggest thing I realize. If you can't love yourself, you can't love anyone else. And that's simple as.
yeah, I think the whole self-love, I think we got it twisted because self-love is not just saying like I love myself. I'm black and proud, I'm Asian and proud, I'm white and proud. No, self-love is more than that. Self-love is when you love yourself, you have to pay attention of things that you consume, things that you put in your body. That's the first thing. Because whatever you put in your body affect you.
Yeah.
Whatever you listen, whatever like that's the first thing. So if you love yourself, do you really have to ask yourself, do you really love yourself? Because are you eating all that crap? As long as you know this is what's gonna happen if I eat this, if I do this, and if you keep still doing that, that's your choice. So that's for you to describe how you really like loving yourself. So you have to be aware of something.
It's like the movie Matrix. Like we're in such in a matrix where not everyone's aware. You need
Mm.
to be. They say when you're awake, well, woke means being self-aware. You know, and a lot of people aren't. It just feels like they're stuck in a rat race, like sheep, and they're not thinking. The brain is so programmed that they just keep going through the same thing again and again, and they can't think for themselves. And you need to get out of it. Because once you start thinking yourself, that's when you become aware. And as you said, you look after yourself more. And whatever you put in your body, that shows the love that you have for yourself. And it's a shame, like even in my family, like not many people eat good. They love, like, I'm the only person, and my little so 10 years ago, I took a few cousins of mine to the gym, yeah, like a different occasion. And out of all these cousins, there's just only one cousin that stuck to the gym for the past 10 years, and he's addicted to it.
Yeah.
And it's mental. And I've realized when it comes to gym and fitness, it's either in you or not. You can take someone there, and do they get hooked on it or not? And maybe it saved him from going through mental health issues.
I think the gym, there's two things that are gonna happen. If you start going to the gym, you can't have that click when you, first of all, some people, you're gonna see your body gonna change and you're gonna feel more confident and you're gonna like how you look. Some people, they hook up because of that. Some other people is because sometimes they go to the gym, they have like knee issue, whatever. They feel like, man, since I go to the gym, my body's not hurting anymore. I hate doing this, but my body's not hurting. When you stop, your body start hurting as well, man. You have no choice to keep going. Like my mom, I put her in the gym. Like she used to have like everything hurting, back, knee, or whatever. Now she's the one like going to the. She sent me video and she do it on the treadmill. She do things, and I even said to her like, you need to add some weight, man. You need to lift as well. Don't just do like body. You have to, even on your age, even if it's like 2.5, you still have to lift it because your body needs muscle as we grow, as we get older, we need muscle because the muscle protect the bones. When you walk, it protect the bones movement. But when you're fat, all the weights are actually on your bones. That's why you see people when they get older, they cannot walk anymore because the bones are tired. But when you train, your bones get stronger and your muscle help your bone to function like your body to move. So it's very essential to get some muscle.
And they go, the more muscle you have on your thighs, yeah, the longer you live, because it gives you more mobility. You can walk longer. Because a lot of people I've seen that are older, their bones start they start shrinking
Mm.
because they don't look after themselves. They need to remember our ancestors. We used to eat once a day, and all day just go hunting, and our body is made, it's designed like that. But a lot of people don't do that. It's like I sometimes even do fasting. Like, have you heard of intermittent fasting?
Yeah, try it, try.
That's good for your mental health as well, because when you hormones after certain hours, I do nearly every other day. I do 16 hours, but then once every 3 months, I do a 72-hour fast, but I don't eat for 3 days. And I know it kills the bad cells, and it might it gives myself a chance for my mental health, because that journey, it's a lifetime journey that you want to make yourself better, because you need to evolve as a person. If you're the same person that you was 5 years ago, there's something wrong with you. They go, as a human being, every 5 years you need to evolve to become better and better.
But now you feel like your life is never gonna be the same again. You feel like you lost because when you go through these mental health things, two things happen. The way you see life change, the way you see yourself change, and the relationship that you have with people
Or changes as well.
kind of change as well. Because you see, like, I mean, I don't know about you, but like, I mean, you is different because you're going through a lot of stuff. You lost your sister, people wasn't there for you, but do you feel like, I know you used to judge them, but did you still feel that way, like that anger against them? Like, you know what, I've been through these things, and then you guys never been here for me, and do you feel the same way, or do you just give up on human being?
So there's a saying in it, like, to be this quiet, you don't imagine how much loudness I have to go through. And that's the same thing with this. It's like I was angry, cursing them. I just wanted to like, "Rah, but then I got to a certain point. I'm like being angry at them and constantly resenting. I'm not harming their life. They're just carrying on. What I'm doing is I'm making my day and my week and my month worse. And I just got to a point where if you do me wrong, you're out of my life. That's it. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna explain myself why, what. I'm not gonna get angry at you anymore because angry is just damaging me. It's not gonna make a difference in your life. You're gonna carry on doing your own thing. And well, with me for days, it's like when you drive on the road and someone crosses you over and you get pissed off, saying, "Oh, why you do this for?" That person's gone after a few seconds, and that anger you're gonna hold on for 5 minutes or a whole day, and you're gonna keep swearing at it. And if you think about it, it's you're affecting your own health your whole day because energy, the thing, the more angry you are, the more you're gonna attract it as well at the same time. So I just got to a point where I thought, you know what? The people that haven't been there for me, I'm not gonna explain anything. I just locked them out of my life, and I don't need them. And it's as simple as. And even with my dad, I don't talk to him. Like he tries to keep talking to me as well, but yeah, that's yeah. Like some people are narcissists. Some people.
Why you don't talk to your dad?
So all right, so like when my sister passed away, we had to go to do a funeral arrangement. To what casket to choose, and all that stuff.
That must be
So my mom and dad had split up when I was 6 years old. So I told my mom, this is the place, be there at 12. I told my dad, 12 o'clock, be there. And to be neutral, not to be on anyone's side, I said, I'll go alone. I'm not going to go with either of them. You get it? So I told mom got the 20 minutes earlier. I got the 5, 10 minutes before 12. And my dad didn't turn up, yeah? And then afterwards, I found out by my uncle that he said, no, Taj is going to call me, then I'm going to go. And my uncle's like, it's at 12 o'clock. Why not going? He goes, no, because Taj needs to call me and confirm it with me. w- when I did Pada's funeral arrangement, it was just my mom and me, whereas it should be me, mom, and dad making the decision. So meaning dad and mom should be making main decision and me. But I had to make all the decision what casket to choose, what to do, this. And it was just wrong. I'm like, whatever you did with me from childhood, like, hitting me the way you was as a person, I can forgive that. But I'm like, what you did with your daughter, not even coming to do a funeral arrangements, I'm like, that can't be forgiven. See, he came to the funeral and everything, and then afterwards he's like, "Oh, you didn't call me." I'm like, "I'm not in my senses. But I lost my best friend, and I told you it's at 12 o'clock." I said, "Mom turned up. Why didn't you?" And he had nothing to say. And I'm like, think about it this way: that guy's been married 3 times. Two of his wives left. His kids left him. You know, that clearly shows it's something wrong with him. He's so set in his own way and a narcissist that even if I want to, I can't forgive that person. Like he keeps trying talking to me, but it's that saying like he was bad all of his life. Now he's getting very old. Now he wants to be good. I'm like that. It doesn't work like that.
You know what? It's the same thing with my dad as well. He never been really in my life. You know what I mean? Like since he doesn't even know like my kids' names.
Really?
But yeah. So when you talk about this dad thing, I understand it. Like I've been there. I know how you feel when they get older. They're trying to get closer because they're feeling lonely. All the money are gone. All the women that left them. They just feel like what you need to understand is, I know you don't want to do that, but you have to forgive him. You must forgive him. Like I'm not telling you to start like having a relationship with him. No, I'm not saying that. You have to like for you because it's still that rock. You still have that rock, that anger in you. You still have a lot of weight in you. You have to forgive him. You know why you have to forgive him? Because you don't know his childhood.
He was a spoiled brat. That's the thing. Like he's got 5 sisters, older sisters, and they told me like because he was the youngest son, he was spoiled by his parents. So since he was a kid, it was always his way or no way.
Yeah, but the thing is that's the reason why he become the adult that he's become today. It's like the same as us today. Whatever adult that we become, the trauma that we have when we was a kid is stuff it have nothing to do with us. Is whatever we were being raised. And people, the parent, like you today, if you become a parent or me, like you can only give what you know. You cannot give what you don't know. So as we are aware of all those things now, all the information that you have, the way you gotta see it, you have to forgive him, not for him, for you.
No, do you know what it is? It's like I sometimes think should I forgive him, but then when I think of the things he did from a young age, like he used to beat us, he used to hit us from a young age.
I know.
Thing he just hit us, and I'm like, you don't do that to kids. All my life, he used to say to me, "You're nothing. You can't do nothing in life. Without me, you're nothing." And I held on to that belief when I got older, thinking I can't do anything in life because my dad said so.
kids remember the negative things more than the positive thing that we put in your head.
Yeah, exactly.
When you say positive things to kids, they take it, they become confident, but they have a positive impact, but you don't really see that. When you say the negative things, like me right now, I still remember the things my dad used to tell me when I was like 6 years old. Oh, no, you're not smart, you're not smart. And it just stay in my head, like it keep clicking all the time today. And that's why even with my son today, like sometimes I'm mad at him, right? Like yesterday, he wake up late. He, he had a breakfast like at 11 and he didn't have like his dinner. After that, tell me you need to eat properly. I just always really mad. I'm like, yo, if you do this way on the weekend, no iPad, nothing. I was mad. And I was like, ugh. I went back to his room. I'm like, listen, do you know why I got mad at you, right? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, listen, I get mad at you because of this, 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 this. I want you to stop doing this. Do you hear me? The reason why I act this way is because you do this and this. So please stop. Don't do it anymore.
You need to.
Because I feel like every time you get mad at somebody, sometime us as a kid, we didn't get it because parents used to get mad at us without explaining why.
And then boom.
Shut up. Why? Because I'm an adult. You don't need to know. Want us to shut up? You shut up.
Yeah, exactly. At least if you explain it to them, at least it goes in their head why they're being like that, and it makes a massive difference in the kid's life. With me, I used to like. I remember when I used to be at home with dad. I always used to wait for him to go to sleep. I was just praying that he's sleeping. So because I didn't want to face him because whenever I used to face him, he always had something negative to say, always something bad to say. And yeah, man, it's good though what you're doing. Like, with kids as well, I guess you want to give them the freedom, but then you want to have that discipline as well. Because
Yeah.
then too much love, you can see with my dad, he became a spoiled brat and the way he is. But then being too angry, it turns a person like me, where you don't believe in yourself. So you need that middle line where you're disciplined, but then the kid loves you. He's not scared of you. Is that with me? Remember, I had love for my dad, but I was shit scared of him. And you shouldn't be scared of your dad. You should respect your dad. You get it? And that's what the biggest thing is. Like, respect your parents. And if you start being scared of them, that's a problem.
Yeah. I think that's the reason why whatever relationship that you have with your dad, it's gonna help you today when you're gonna have kids. It's gonna help you to become like a better parent because you can actually go inside the kids' heads to know how they feel when you react in a certain way. So when I say forgive your dad, I mean like you really need to forgive your dad, no matter what how bad he went with you. Like you like
I do talk to
there
him,
is
though.
like yeah, I mean talking is not like you don't have to talk to him. That's the thing. You can't forgive somebody and not talk to
I
the
know.
person.
Like, you need to
You
forgive.
see what I mean? Because even if you talk to him, but you still that, I hate you, like what you did to me, what you did to my sister. No, you gotta free yourself. You know what I mean? Otherwise, you're gonna carry that when you're gonna have kids. You always gonna no. You just you know what? You gotta feel more sorry for him. Look at what you're missing out. Look at like because it's like people are only turn out to be whatever they are because of the way they be grew up. You know what I mean? You have to just forgive him and move on. Even if you talk to him, you don't talk to him, but at least you make peace. Because when you have anger against somebody, the person that suffered the most is not them, it's actually you. Because you have that weight on your chest. I know like it's childhood trauma. Like for you to move on from your childhood trauma, you have to learn. The first step is acknowledge the trauma. The second step is forgiveness. Without forgiveness, you won't be free. And it's sad, but I'm talking to you coming from somebody who actually have this kind of situation as well. I grew up in the family where my dad have two kids, they don't even know my kid's name, like sometimes my sister have kids, they live in the same city with my dad. My sister kids, they're like one is 16. She never met my dad. She thought my dad was dead.
Wow.
And when I went to Africa, I took my sister kids. I called my father because they keep asking, like, "Oh, is he dead? Is he dead?" I took my sister kids and I went to see my dad because I'm like, listen, I need to break this. At least they need to see him one time so we don't gonna have this conversation anymore. He was so embarrassed. Like he was like, oh, oh, you look like me, give them money, all that shit. I was like, man, I saw him, I'm like, man, I feel sorry for this guy. Because my mental, like the way I see things just different. When I see him, I'm like, man, this is sad, but I'm just happy that I did this for my nieces, they see the granddad, they took a pic. I'm like, at least you guys have a picture with him. He exists and yeah.
It's sad, isn't it? But then at the same time, it's true though. Like, no parents knows how to do parenting. It's your first time.
We don't know.
It's your first time and you're learning, aren't you? I don't know.
Because your dad used to be 6 years old, he used to be 10, he used to be your age. So it's like you today, tomorrow, your kid's gonna judge you based on like whatever experience, like childhood that you're actually giving them, right? Let's say you didn't go through mental health. If your kid was going through this, I'm sure you know who's not gonna know how to deal with this because he was not gonna understand it, right?
Exactly.
So this is how you have to see it. So it's wrong what he did. I'm not saying anything is wrong, it's bad, whatever, but forgive him for you, not for him.
Just have to be the bigger person yourself.
You gotta be the bigger. Trust me, you're gonna feel better, and you're gonna start feeling sorry for him because why? Because you feel like he's blind.
And that's like another thing, because it's my dad's been married 3 times. It's like, like me now, it's been like 2, 3 years. I've not dated, I've not been in relationships, no nothing. It's kind of scarred me, you know, when you see your own dad getting married again and again, and it's like the older you get, the more specific you get as well, what you want in life and who you want.
You feel like you're gonna turn up like him.
Yeah, and I don't want anyone to be like, "Oh, he's like his dad." You get it? And it's for me, it's like I'd rather be single and live my life and just be there for others than commit. But then obviously at the same time, just hope you find someone that's like-minded like yourself. And but nowadays it's hard, to find someone
I
that's
think it's hard because everybody's like mentally destroyed.
yeah.
I spoke to a lot of like friends, the female, like they have no boyfriend. They're looking for when you see them, they looks all pretty, whatever. But like when you talk to them, they're all destroyed inside. Like people are like,
The outside mask looks beautiful, but then the inside is all yeah.
yeah, we need some help, but people need God. At the end of the day, we need God. That's the thing. No matter how much we want to escape, we want to be smart, we need God. We cannot do anything without God. That's the thing. I don't care if you're Muslim, Christian, whatever. You need God because we need to feed our soul the same way. As I always say that, the same way as we feed our muscle, the food, our body. We need that because when you feel empty one way, you get that unbalance, like that's why you have the mental, you have this soul part, and you got the physical part as well. Everything need to be balanced.
Believe is a Now, if you believe in God and you believe that, it'll work out, like it would work out. As you said, like if you don't believe in God and don't have that connection with God, there'll always be something missing in your life. It's with me, like by family wise, I'm Sikh religion wise, but me personally, I don't class myself as a certain religion. I'm like, I believe in God. My belief is be good to good people. If people are less fortunate, help them if you can, and that's it. Just be a nice human being, and that's what matters. If someone's being rude or something, either avoid them or just. And that's my definition of a human. I'm like, I can't put a label on religion because at the end of the day, if you look around the world, religion divides people. Imagine if there just was one religion in the world, like there'd be less wars. People would be more loving.
Yeah, I think religion divides people because people create rule, and sometimes they create rule. They don't really add God in a rule. They just create rule to kind of like control and then get something out of it.
My God versus your God, and it's like there's only one God, mate. There's not my God.
Yeah, but I think the reason why we have religion was made first of all to kind of like give that structure. Like, okay, we have to follow a certain way of living to be more like as I was saying, like when you have rule in your life, like I wanna be like me as a Christian, like when you say religious, it's more like trying to follow Jesus. If you have to Jesus follow, if you want to follow Jesus the way Jesus used to live, it's kind of like it's a religion because you are a follower of Jesus. That's why it's called being a Christian. But when that was just Jesus, but when you have like normal people involved, and they're always gonna create more like selfishness, like politics and all that. That's why it divides people. And my God is better than your God and all that things. But as long as you find peace, you have like a relationship with God,
The sad
your personal, yeah.
thing is, the sad thing is, in this world, they're not. There are a lot of God fearing people. They're not God loving people. A lot of people, don't get me wrong, there are people that love God, but there are more people out there that don't do certain things because out of fear of God. They're God fearing, scared of God. But there are not many that love God. They're always scared, oh, God's going to do this if I do this, isn't that? So generally, you should love God as your parent, your higher power, in that sense. And you must know as well, like a lot of people do that when they're when good things happen in your life, you don't remember God. You're just, doing your thing.
Mm.
As soon as bad things happen, you go straight to God, and then what does that show about you then?
Yeah, I think it's because people know God is the only thing that they have. Is the only person that can solve things. But when they lose everything, when they have everything, they forget God. But they forget like you can't play God. He knows before he bless you. Already know what you're gonna do with the blessing. You already know what's gonna happen after that. So there's only so much time we can actually play around, and one time we're gonna find out. So they always
Oh,
say.
yeah, you should always love God no matter what, good and bad times. Because if you do, life will be good. But if you only respect God in your bad times, then it shows you as a person. And there's some people that don't even believe in God. And it's like we as humans, we're made too perfect. Like, we have our organs, the way our blood is constantly flowing. It's not just by accident, by chance, you get it? And that's what people don't realize. Like, the way we are, we're made. Unless the other theory is we're made by alien civilization.
There's one thing I wanted to add when we were talking about mental health. Like I know we spoke about when it happened. I spoke about my trauma. You spoke about your trauma, and we spoke about how we deal with it. And now I think the focus on when you come out of it. I believe us as men, because I know like we go through a lot of things. The society is not easy for us to express ourselves. For me, my own experience, I feel like I know mental health exists, but we need to be confident about ourselves when we come out of it. You need to love yourself more than before.
Yeah.
You need to be you need to be strong. You need to be like not let anything go through your head.
That self-love is a daily practice,
It's a daily practice, yeah. You gotta be like I mean, it's not tough, yeah, I'm a man. No, I mean you gotta have that.
Your
Like
internal dialogue should be always positive, loving, and I think that's one biggest key. And it just takes time. It's more the more you do something repetition wise, the better you become. At the beginning, you will resist. Your brain will constantly resist, say, "Oh no, no." But if you keep doing it again, 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 that's how you can reprogram your subconscious mind. It's a system. The way we think, our subconscious mind thinks, and the beliefs we have, it's from past life, what we went through. If you want a better if you want a better future, you have to reprogram your subconscious mind, listen to better things, watch better things. Because when we watch, I don't even watch TV anymore. Like, like I used to constantly.
I don't watch TV, like TV is like for me TV just a screen, I just like stream stuff, take from somewhere, just balance on the TV. It just is a screen. I don't really watch TV as a TV because I don't like, especially the news. I just don't like the way I watch the news now. Is like I watch it as a TV show. Like I watch something like when it's like big things happening. I just watch it just to try to have my own thought. But I don't believe in nothing or whatever people are actually saying. So it's like it's funny. And I even struggle now to kind of ask my son to kind of like watch the news. I kind of tell him like you need to know what's going on, but don't believe everything that you see on TV because it's just propaganda.
You need to be conscious enough to be able to question.
Yeah, make up your mind. Yeah,
A lot of people, when they see something, they're like, "Yep, it's right." Whatever they're saying, it's right. I used to believe that for many years. When I was a kid and growing up, I'm like, whatever they're showing on TV, it's all right. But then with the
it's on BBC. Is right.
trust me, it's always right. What else is it? CNBC or CNBB?
CNBC. Yeah, CNBC, right? Yeah, SNBC or something like that. You got Sky News, you got all these things, man. So Taj, it was very a pleasure to talk to you today. Before I let you go, there's anything that you want to share? Something like I mean, something that you feel like we haven't spoke about. Something that you feel like you need to tell people, maybe to help people, or anything that you just want to share.
The main thing I would like to tell people is it's like you're not alone in this. If you're going through mental health, we all are going through it. Some people are going through it silently, some are going out loudly. But my biggest advice is if you're going through something and if you have someone that's close to you, talk to them. I know it's scary. You might think you're going to end up crying, you're going to break down, but that will do good for you. But trust me, when you cry and break down to someone that's the closest to you, sharing your problems it. And it's a shame that I didn't do it. And yourself, you didn't do it. But we're all programmed differently. If you think you can go through it yourself, okay, fair enough. But if you think you can't handle it, don't think about taking your life away, anything. Talk to someone. Let it out, pour it out and do research, self love. You need to look after yourself, give yourself a fighting chance. before taking any negative steps, because you need to think about it this way. If you harm yourself, you might go, you'll be in peace, wherever, but the people that you have left behind, they'll be suffering for the rest of their life. And think about that. You went through depression and you did something to yourself and you left. And now you left the people behind in depression. So your depression, you're leaving behind to your family members. Is that what you want? That's the last thing you want. You want to go in peace. And then the stuff that you went through, now you're going to give that to your mom, dad, sisters, friends. That's not fair. That's selfish. Taking your own life is selfish in my opinion. Do something about it. If you can't do it yourself, speak to someone. I didn't do it, mistake, but do it. And it's just me talking to you, just having a convo. I just generally just feel better in myself. It's
Yeah.
it's just having that conversation, because at the beginning you'll feel uncomfortable doing it, but once you're done and you walk away, you're like, you know what? I feel lighter, and that's what people need to remember. Yeah, self love is one of the biggest thing. Look after yourself, and if you can do that, then you'll be able to look after someone else, because that's what a lot of relationship breaks. When people say you're a narcissist, and women call
Mm.
men narcissists, it's because some men are going through mental health issues and they think having a partner will solve the problem. You need to sort yourself out first and then find a partner. I went through that phase where I went depressed and I'm like, find a girlfriend will help me. No, it doesn't. You start being clingy and relying on them, and that's more problem. You need to become the perfect version of yourself and then find
I
it.
think you need to heal yourself before you start being with somebody else.
I didn't go in a relationship. I haven't been for like over 2, 3 years now, because I'm like, I want to be the best version, because the person I want to be with, I want to give them the best, not someone that's angry, depressed, broken. And now I just feel like I'm ready, but it's all about finding the right person that has a similar.
Yeah, yeah. Just give it time. Whatever happens, it's gonna happen in the right time.
Exactly. This is not
You